crowd, felt them early in the game. It was a great run out of the tunnel, seeing the packed house again. And then to see the student section, a lot of the people still there at the end was really neat for our guys. It was kind of a long game there with the rain and everything. To see student body still there on both sides was awesome for our guys. So that was really great. Just want to thank everybody for that. You know, first 5-6 minutes of the game, not great. So a lot of things to clean up off the film there. Hit us on some things, and then also we give up the safety. But then from then on, you know, I thought it was pretty dominant overall, just in terms of defense. I think it was maybe 10 straight drives. We stopped them 3 and out or close to that. And then on offense, we got a pretty good rhythm. But anytime you can create turnovers like we did, I think we had 2 sack fumbles by Chase. We had the block punt and the interception by Jeff. And you're playing with a short field, it makes all the difference in the world. And we were opportunistic in those situations. I thought going into the game, we had opportunities to get turnovers in other games, and we weren't right there. We got them today, so that was good. But you know, if we're going to go into Lincoln, you know, a lot of things to clean up if we're going to go beat those guys next week. So already on to those guys and focused on preparing for them next week.
We'll open up questions over to the right, Jared.
Ryan, the second quarter, you mentioned the rhythm that you all found. That was a historically different quarter here. What was the rhythm that you found? What do you think you got going?
Well, I think anytime you know, your defense can do you know what they did, which is to shut them down, create turnovers like that, and then flip a short field. You know, they were blitzing, and so they were leaving a little bit, you know, of room out there, throwing the ball down the field, and I think we hit some of those, which kind of opened up the game. And then again, you know, we get a sack fumble, we turn the ball, you know, we get the turnover in short field, and then we're able to turn into points. And anytime you can kind of do that, especially with the tempo, they were actually playing a little bit of tempo early, and we were playing really fast early. And so anytime that happens, you can kind of turn the momentum and can flip fast. I think that's what happened.
Over to the left, Dylan.
Was there anything you saw from your team leading the kickoff you thought they might be a little bit flat? And did you prepare for the option this week?
Yeah, for sure. And that's actually not an option play. It's another type of play that we'll have to work on. They hit us, I think, 3 different times on that. But no, I thought we had a really good week of practice. I thought you know, the coach did a great job of preparing them, and I'm really proud of the way the guys came out and played. I mean, to come out like that after 3 weeks and a week of, you know, a lot of people telling us how great we were, to come out and dominate like that is pretty impressive. So a job well done. But again, it's what have been done for me lately, and we got to go into Lincoln next week. We got a big win. So.
Third row right, Tony.
Ryan, we know Jared Wilson has made plays in practice. Jameson Williams, you seem good in practice. What's it like when you see those 2 freshmen able to do it next class in a game like this?
Well, they've been practicing much better the last really 2 weeks. Both of them have been practicing, and that doesn't guarantee anything. You know, you can practice well, but it doesn't guarantee anything. But if you don't practice well, you don't even have a chance. But both of those guys have practiced harder. I thought their approach to the game has been better, their attitude's been better, and then lo and behold, here we go. Now we start to see some things happening. And so it's good to see the growth of those guys, and it was good to see the older guys like KJ Austin, Ben, and those guys shoulder them away. And that takes a lot of you know, unselfishness along their part. But that's the same legacy that Terry and Paris and those guys left behind, and they're going to keep that going. So it was a good start. It's good to see those guys make some plays.
Over to the left, Bill.
It's 4 games now. You guys have really not been tested at all. Do you really have a sense of just how good you guys are? You're still kind of waiting to find out how good you really are.
Yeah, I think maybe midway through the season we'll have a better idea. I do think that you know, we're playing with a lot of passion. We're playing hard. We're playing tough. I mean, that's clear to see. But again, like you said, you know, we go on the road next week, and that's a big test. So I think I'll have a better idea after next week.
Over to the right, Clay.
Yeah, no disrespect to Indiana, but as you mentioned, the prelims are sort of over. How much better is Nebraska than anybody you play?
You know, hard to tell. I haven't really watched it much on film. We've been trying to stick with the mantra of winning this game and focusing on this game. But Scott does a really good job, and their defensive staff's really good. And they have a really good quarterback, and that's a hard place to play. I mean, that's a real place to go on the road and try to win. So that's a big challenge for us. So you know, we'll start talking about that tomorrow morning, and actually kind of talked about it a little bit just in the locker room, and they were all ears. So big challenge, and that starts even tonight.
What did you say to them?
Just that, you know, this is already going. Usually, what we do is we have our meetings tomorrow. We'll still have our champions meetings tomorrow to make sure that you know, we don't just go by this and reward the guys who play like champions in this game, because it's hard to win college football game, and we're going to do that. But at the same time, we're going to quickly move on to Nebraska and get going on the film.
Second row left, Rob.
Right, we're seeing things with this offense that haven't been seen in a start to leave on this program, on this offense?
Well, I think that the whole goal is to figure out what plays fit the personnel that you have, and that's what we're trying to do on a weekly basis. And talking through the preseason about the journey that this team was going to go on both sides of the ball and special teams, but then also on offense. What was it going to look like? And that's the fun part about college football, is that based on your personnel, what gives you the best chance to win. And it's not cookie cutter. It's not the same thing year in and year out. You can't just say, hey, here's the playbook, let's go run these plays. It doesn't work that way. And I think that's the key to really good college coaching, is being the ability to adapt to your personnel and have the ability to go in and out of personnel groupings, spread or under center, or two tight ends, three tight ends. And I think Kevin, Mike, Stud, Tony, Brian Hartline, everybody's doing a really good job of making sure we have some variety in our game. But we got to keep going on that.
In your mind's eye, is this the defense you anticipated seeing when you started to put things together?
Yeah. I mean, again, we're only 4 games in, but yeah, that was the vision, and I think that we got a long ways to go still. And I know it's hard sometimes to look at these games, but what you do, there's going to be some things on film that we can really look at, figure out how other teams are going to be attacking us, and making sure we have the ammo to come back at them with.
Second row right, Nathan.
What did you see happen on the play that led to the safety? And is there anything about Justin's windup that makes him more susceptible to that?
No, it was a double move. It was a post corner that takes a little time to develop. And looking back, it was kind of a risky thing coming out, but I wanted to be aggressive in the game, and ran the ball for only 1 or 2 yards, and I said, let's take a shot. And Ben actually ran a really good route, post corner, but it takes a little bit of time. It was a Sam rifle where the guy blitzed off the edge, and JK just got beat a little bit, off the edge, and then he got his hand down. So probably not a great play call coming out. Probably should have just got it out of his hand quick or run it out. But JK does have to do a better job protection, and that's not one that Justin can see. If that's coming off his backside, that's hard. So I don't think that one's on him.
Over to the left, Ari.
Hey Ryan, coming into the game, you heard the recess comment from the opposing coach, and they're pulling their quarterback out in the first half. I'm just wondering, what can you truly gain? I know getting guys in early, but how do you prepare for this game? You hear the comments, you're aware of what's going on, you know the talent is lopsided. I mean, what are you hoping what's the goal here besides winning?
Yeah, I think there's 2 things. I think one is, we talked all week about we have momentum, we got to keep momentum, and how do you do that? You have a standard. And when we play and the ball's on the ground, we have a standard of how we play, and that doesn't matter who we're playing. And to continually build on that, a game is a game, and we want to do that. The second thing, when you look at a game like this, is it allows you to create that depth and keep building that depth and some strength, and you can really go back on that late in the season. You never know what's going to happen injury-wise. You never know if you get into a game where someone's playing with a lot of tempo and you got to play depth in the game. You just never know. So I think today was a great opportunity to have a lot of guys to play. I even thought Chugs came in and threw the ball pretty good. I thought that was good for him to be able to go back on. Garrett Wilson make some plays. Guys on defense running around and making some tackles. So those are things that guys can come back upon later on in the year. Hopefully as experience.
And my quick follow up on that is, you mentioned Chuck. You guys are in a position right now where you have a starter. You're still trying to identify a backup. How important is it, as this team is on a quest to identify a true, real backup quarterback, to have Chris play an entire half like that?
Yeah, no, I thought it was good, and I thought he took a step forward. Even when Gunnar was in there, he made that nice throw into Jameson, so that was good to see. But I thought that Chris handled himself well in that situation, because he had to play a whole half, and then Gunnar came in and did a good job as well. Moved the team down the field for a couple drives, and we challenge those guys, move the ball down the field. We're not here to just run out the game. Let's really play football and find out where we're going to go from it. And so I think for those guys, there's a lot of film to grow upon. And so we'll make sure we watch that film with those guys for sure tomorrow, and see if we can build on those guys.
Okay, we only have time for a couple more. Front row right over here, Austin.
Ryan, what was your vantage point on the Garrett Wilson touchdown, and how would you describe it?
It was a one-on-one go ball that Chris kind of underthrew a little bit, but he gave a chance by putting a lot of air on it. And then it was just unbelievable talent. Going over the top, getting his hands on it over the top of the corner, but then also somehow making some sort of circus catch. That was things we've seen in practice, but that one was pretty unreal.
And over to the left, Doug.
Ryan, you guys have been pretty successful with the up-tempo stuff. Are you doing it as much as you thought you would coming into the year? And how do you think Justin and the offensive line have handled that?
It was funny, early in the game, we couldn't really get into the rhythm of the tempo. It was just kind of funny the way it worked. But I thought we did play fast at times, I think, in the first half. We were snapping the ball pretty quick, we were getting lined up. I'll have to look at it, but I think we were snapping it at times before 30 seconds, you know, so 40 and there's about 10 seconds in there where we're getting it snapped. But that's only good if you get the first down. You know, you can't, you know, get yourself into 3 and outs and so, yeah, we love tempo. It's a big part of our game. It's not going to be used every week the same amount. You know, we'll make decisions on that before the game, but that also in game. You know, sometimes it gets you into a rhythm a little bit. We like playing that way, but we'll kind of take it week in and week out.
Yeah, it seemed like maybe took some more deep shots today. Was there something in the way they were playing coverage, or was that part of the offense that you guys wanted to maybe flex that muscle a little bit and see how you can do that?
Yeah, it's always part of our game. We have something in our game plan called shots, and they came up. You know, we're bringing a bunch of guys that were loading the box up, which most people do against our run game, and we kind of expected that after last week, the way we ran the ball, and anytime you get one-on-one matchups on the outside with our guys, we think we've got a good shot.
And last question, front row right, Tim?
Yeah, the pass to Benjamin Victor, the catch at the back of the end zone, what does that do for him from a confidence standpoint moving forward? Are you seeing him progress like you thought he would this year? And then number 2, Chase Young with 2 strip sacks. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, to see Chase come off the edge like that was unbelievable. And you know, it's one thing to be veteran, it's one thing to be really good, it's another thing to play that way and produce. And to see him do that, change the game just like that. And not only that, it changes the momentum of the game. You know, it kind of, you know, if you're on the other side of the ball and you see that a couple times, that can take your heart away. And I think it did. And so he's playing at a high level right now. We got to keep doing, you know, keep going at that level, and he's got to keep producing because when he does, our defense is really good. And for Ben, I thought that was great. You know, Ben's a guy who, you know, if he makes big plays, we go, and that's really been in our first 4 games, and he's made some big plays this year, and that's kind of got our offense going. He has big playability, so that was a big time throw and catch.
Coach, thank you very much.